Elder Marion D. Hanks of the First Quorum of the 70 and former member of the U.S. President's Council on Physical Fitness and Sports.
I once heard a sports writer talk about a team that was defeated in a game. He said that the wonderful thing about this team was that they battled right to the end. They didn't really lose the game, he said. They only lost the score. Those of us who've played hard in any game and wanted to win know that if we play enough, most or all of us will be involved in contests where we lose the score. Whether we really lose the game or not will depend upon our own effort, our own behavior, in the end, our own attitude. It depends more upon our character than on the score. Numbers in the loss column or on the scoreboard will fade. The remembrance of a failure of integrity or of decency remains. In sports, the flag of idealism, so-called, must be kept flying or there is no true sport. If we violate the rules of fair play in athletic contests, we lose one of the last remaining areas of human experience where rigid volunteer rules of right and wrong govern, where we foster fairness and regard for an adversary, whether things are going well for us or not. Creeping coarseness cannot be permitted to corrupt that arena of sports action, where gallantry and grace can truly mix with intensity of effort and energy and skill. Sportsmanship in church activities is not only a desirable element, it's an indispensable factor.
Poor sportsmanship? Sure, that's a problem in the pros and in college sports, but I'm bishop of this ward, and I can tell you it's not a problem here. Well, everybody gets a little overexcited at times.
Poor sportsmanship? I always show a good example to the kids I'm coaching.
You're pathetic. Your grandmother could do better.
You have to push these kids to help them reach their potential.
Bad sportsmanship? Me? Foul me again, I'll cram this ball down your throat. Hey, ref, you want to join their team? Put on a uniform. Well, if you want to win, you can't let the other guys push you around. And that means the officials, too.
Poor sportsmanship? Some of the other teams, sure, but not us. Hey, airhead, where'd you learn to serve? That's just psyching out the other team. That's okay, isn't it?
Me? I'm a coach. I just stand on the sidelines.
What'd you do that for? Can't you remember anything?
Nobody ever said a coach couldn't get involved and give her team a little push.
Poor sportsmanship? I don't even play. I just watch. Hey, ref! How's your glass eye? Oh, well, I get a little excited sometimes, but you gotta support your team.
Sportsmanship? Hey, I'm an official. I'm the one everybody yells at.
Not one more word out of you, hotshot. I know the rules.
But I can't let them question my authority. I'll lose control of the game. Well, after taking a good look, I guess I have to admit that sportsmanship is everybody's problem. Violent, hateful impulses are part of human nature. A part that we have to learn to overcome. But it's going to take some effort. I'd better give this some thought and prayer. I want to talk to you about a very important subject, sportsmanship. It's easy to forget the real goals and objectives of the church sports program. The sports program is about winning, of course, but not just in ways you can see on the scoreboard. It's about leadership and sharing. It's about giving a good example to our youth and achieving physical and spiritual growth. As with everything else in the church, it's primarily about becoming more like the Savior, in attitude and in action. It's about developing self-control, not letting your violent impulses take control.
Uh-oh.
Thinking about the other...
He means me. Sometimes I get so caught up in the excitement of the game, I don't realize what I'm doing.
We must remember that we may see things only from one vantage point. So we must be tolerant rather than quick to accuse others, particularly officials.
I guess I'm so partial to my son's team that sometimes I yell first and think later.
And it's essential to keep things in perspective. A high score is important, but a fair, clean game is even more important.
There are times I want to help the team so bad, I don't care how I do it.
Those who are called to be officials should remember that this is an important calling. They should prepare themselves well and seek to understand the games and the rules.
Maybe I am a little rusty on some of the rules. I suppose if I were better prepared, I wouldn't be so defensive about my calls.
But the greatest goals of the sports program are to get our people involved and to help them grow. The relationship of a young person to his or her coach means far more than a winning score.
The goal of the church sports program is to make certain that all team members, not just the most talented, have regular opportunities to play.
Sometimes I get so preoccupied with winning that I neglect some of the individual team members.
As a testimony maintained.
Maybe building up my team's sense of fellowship and fair play is more important than pulling down awards.
I encourage all of you to prepare yourselves and make an effort to exhibit good sportsmanship always, both on and off the field. Remember, our need to behave in a Christ-like manner does not take a time out whenever we step on an athletic field.
So that's how it works. I never really understood that rule before. I'm glad I took the time to come to this officials clinic.
Don't really mean, but now I feel I can solve the problem.
I'm glad you feel that way, son. Do you really think you can control your temper, even in an important game?
Sure, Mom. If you can keep from yelling at the ref.
Looks like this won't be easy for either of us.
Well, this special training session has sure helped. I didn't realize how many changes there have been in the rules since I was a kid. From now on, any team I coach is going to respect the officials.
Vicky, I asked you to stay after practice because I want to talk to you. I know you like to play, but you seem to spend more energy yelling at the other team than you do playing or practicing.
I'm just not as good as some of the other girls, and I don't want the team to lose because of me. I could play harder, but I get too embarrassed.
Why don't we take some extra time to practice together? I think I can teach you some skills to help you be a better player.
Thanks, Coach. I really could use the help.
I'm delighted to speak to you at this awards banquet at the end of a winning year. I know our teams didn't all finish first in the league, but I've seen some real victories. Some great examples of honesty, like honor calls. Examples of generosity, like congratulating the other team on a good play.
Hey, you're a really good player. How long have you been with your team?
Examples of careful preparation, of self-control and tolerance, like apologizing to the officials for arguing about a call.
Okay, Ben. I'm sorry I argued about that play.
Examples of maintaining perspective and grace under pressure, like congratulating the team that beat us in the finals. Why, we've even seen Carla Matheson use restraint in exhorting a referee. We're not perfect yet, but we've started to take control, and we've gotten a spiritual workout in the process. We've given our youth a good example, and we've kept the true goals of the sports program in sight.
We're playing life, not just games. And the rules we are learning are larger than athletic contests. Courtesy, generosity of spirit, good humor, grace under pressure, these are all essential to the true Christian life. Church physical activities have as their purpose the development of these qualities, far more than winning games or strengthening muscles or sinews. If there is no sense of Christian grace in our athletic program, if it really isn't a situation in which we could feel comfortable that the Spirit of the Lord is present, then the program's true purpose is not being realized. And again, remember, whether we really lose the game or not will depend upon our own effort, our own behavior, in the end, our own attitude. It depends more upon our character than on the score.